Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chasing Chevy
Sorry.
Great. We're off to a rocket start. Mark Begley is nothing but trouble. Da-na-na-na-na-na. All around the world, Sam song. Yeah, Father Malone's rocking out over there. I can see him.
I love that song. What are you talking about?
I love that song too. I unironically love that song. Oh my God. On this episode of the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast, we're talking about I guess it's just the Chasing Chevy podcast.
No, it's Chasing Chevy Chase.
I thought it was Chasing
Chevy Chase podcast. CCCP.
There's one reason for that, and it's the CCCP. I am one of your hosts of this show, Chris Stagey from the Culture Cast. Joining me all the way from his also Chinese state-run podcast, Mike White of the Projection Booth.
What are you looking at, Dick Nose?
Also from a Weirding Way Media property, your friend and mine from Cambridge and Washawn, Mark Begley.
There's a negativity about this place. I couldn't swing the Brazilian accent, whatever that was.
Neither could Taylor Negron, to be fair.
There's no Brazilian air.
No, I am not. Otherwise, I'd be living on the coast.
And for the first time on the show, we're joined by a guest, the monochromatic man himself. If you could see the video, all the way from Midnight Viewing. He's the host of that show, and we're his co-host sometimes on that show. You're a friend of mine, Father Malone. He puts the FM in Father Malone. Father Malone.
And put out that dog rocket, everybody.
Best line in the movie. Put out that dog rocket. That and the 80-yard line of, "Oh, you're nothing but trouble." Hey, that's the name of the movie.
Oh, so much ADR.
Good.
Especially when they land in that pile of toys.
Yeah.
Just all ADR.
Oh, man.
Well, if you've joined us before, you know that we talk about Chevy Chase movies. And on this episode of the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast, we are talking about, oh boy, Dan Aykroyd's final directorial film. It is a film
First
that...
and final.
Yeah, first and final. Its reputation precedes it in a lot of ways, but I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Father Malone is here specifically, not pacifically, specifically to talk about, to talk about this movie because I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're talking about 1991's written and directed by Dan Aykroyd, Nothing But Trouble. So the film is directed by Dan Aykroyd, written by Dan Aykroyd, based on a screenplay by Peter Aykroyd. Because, hey, they went and saw Hellraiser, and they thought it was funny. Psycho fucking freaks. I mean, Hellraiser is funny. I'm not sure how this was distilled Hellraiser, but okay. And the film centers on...
According to them, they were reacting to the audience. They said the audience was laughing uproariously. I saw Hellraiser in a theater. I didn't find it uproarious. It freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah. Same.
It's those jaded New York audiences.
Yeah, really. Yeah. It's the upper Manhattan crowd that's so jaded.
Here in the flyover states, we get scared by horror films. Yeah. That's what this whole film feels like, is a swipe at the flyover states. Oh my God, don't leave the freeway. It's ironic that they were filming Bonfire of the Vanities at the exact same time, and that was another huge flop because it's basically the same idea. Don't leave the freeway because then you get into trouble.
And that's the thing about this movie. I did this movie on the Culture Cast a long time ago, and I think we're going to have a much more interesting conversation here because I think, just to start the conversation, I don't think that this is that bad of a movie. And if anything, it's a really misguided attempt at something that Dan Aykroyd, I don't think, knew how to do very well. And I think that there are parts of this movie that do work, and I think that there are parts of this movie that feel like a meander, but we've watched worse things on this show.
Oh, yes.
By like leaps at Funny Money is
Funny
worse
Money
than
is
this movie.
Funny Money is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
That is the pinnacle.
The nadir, yes.
You haven't gotten the Memoirs of an Invisible Man yet?
Not yet, no.
I think that's like next, or like we're pretty close to that, I want to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might be doing the
next.
Vacation remake next. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look before we sign off, obviously. So Chris can throw it to the next episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess, Father Malone, since you are our guest, why did you want to join us for this specific film on this little episode of our Chevy Chase show?
Any chance I can jump in and defend any of Dan Aykroyd's weirdo eccentricities, I'm going to take it. He was always my favorite member of Saturday Night Live. He was always my favorite sort of writing, performing comedian. I think right out of the gate, his first screenplay is the fucking Blues Brothers, and I know Landis had a huge hand in that, but like off of that, he does Ghostbusters and Spies Like Us, which I like. I like the script for that. I think Landis dropped the ball in that particular fucking movie, and the addition of Chevy Chase was a mistake in that film. But I was pretty stoked when Aykroyd was coming out with his own film, and it was as weird as anything coming out at the time looked. It certainly reminded me in both the studio logo and vibe of Beetlejuice. There seemed to be a real weirdo movement going on in popular entertainment at the moment. So I was stoked to see it. Now, look, I don't think it's a good movie. It's a movie I really enjoy and have enjoyed over the years. And the things that I liked about it, I continue to admire, and actually the admiration grows. But I can't not say that this is a movie with 4 leads that I want to die from the opening frame. And I can't look, this is what Aykroyd, I know he kind of got the inspiration from Hellraiser, and I can probably pinpoint the moment that he got the inspiration from Hellraiser. But really, the inspiration seems to be Texas Chainsaw, right? I mean, there are recreations of entire shots from Texas Chainsaw.
Absolutely.
The more applicable title for this movie would be Dan Aykroyd's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Dan Aykroyd's Pennsylvania Hillbilly Hideaway. Like, I mean, it wears its influences very apparently on its sleeve, I feel.
And well, so I continue to appreciate the fact that in 1990, Warner Brothers gave him $40 million to basically make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then left him alone. And then we're so fucking distracted by the goddamn debacle that was Bonfire of the Vanities that nobody bothered to fucking check up on him.
It kind of rules in a way.
Yeah.
It kind of rules in a way, but they were just like, we don't fucking care. Like, right.
But this is more of a Fitzcarraldo situation and not an Apocalypse Now situation, where the story behind the movie is better than the movie itself. Ultimately, I feel that way, but I do want to defend this movie as much as I can, because there is a lot to recommend it. And I think it's a movie that most people just avoid or don't even know about. And I think there's a certain kind of fan out there who might enjoy it, who has yet to be exposed.
All right, Mark Begley.
Had never seen this one before, and I think I can speak for the 3 of us CCCP guys when I say this was probably, well, maybe not you, Chris, since you had seen it, but
it'd been a while, to be fair. It'd been like 5 years.
This was the most feared viewing.
100%.
Also, I was anticipating it as well, because my exposure to it really is just the Red Letter Media review that they did. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's what this thing is. When it came out, I was deep in the indie thing that was going on in America, and the foreign movies that were coming over. That was the big, like 1990 and 92 were those years. Train Spotting, Pulp Fiction, all this stuff comes out, and a theater in town had finally started showing films like that weekly. Barton Fink was a big one for me. So all these hit movies were coming out, and I was way into that, and I wouldn't have deemed this worthy of my time at that point. Very pretentious, art movie kind of guy attitude. And so I don't even remember seeing anything about it back then, probably, but knew of its reputation at some point. This awful, horrible movie had a very bad reputation, and I had a lot of fun watching it. And this is one of the few that we've watched that I would actually rewatch, because I know I missed a lot of stuff in my viewing. And because I like Wrong Turn, not the franchise, but I like Wrong Turn movies. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This reminded me actually more of a sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff, Tourist Trap, because of that movie's strangeness and that antagonist's weirdness.
Yeah. Oh, good call on that one, Mark. Yeah.
Because I saw I saw those little IMDb trivia things about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was thinking, well, this is so weird, though. I mean, yes, that family in Texas Chainsaw is weird, obviously, but I just forgot the actor's name, the lead in Tourist Trap, the antagonist in that.
Chuck Connors.
Yeah, Chuck Connors. He is just so weird in that movie, and that's what I kept thinking of every time Dan Aykroyd popped up in this. And then also I was thinking of, I mean, this goes back to the old dark house type thing where, these people get stuck in a downpour and end up in this bizarre family's house. And I love that. I love that subgenre of horror film, or this is kind of a horror film. So that kept me really intrigued. There is a lot of problem with this movie. There are a lot of problems with this movie for sure. Chevy Chase being one of them. Again, I think he's the lowest common denominator in this one for sure, and seems to be phoning it in. But I would definitely watch this one multiple times, and I can't say that for about half of the movies that we've watched so far for the show. I ain't watching Funny Money ever again in my life.
Oh no.
Likewise.
I mean, if I get detained by ICE and sent to El Salvador, if they want to punish me, they throw that on 24 hours a day, and that would do it.
Funny Money is it's up there for one of the worst things I think we've ever watched for anything.
Yeah.
It's that Father Malone.
Yeah, it's one of the worst that I
actually
watched for anything.
I've never seen it, so I'm glad I can avoid it now.
I would.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
Someone thought Chevy Chase would be good in a adaptation of a British stage play.
Yeah.
That sounds unpleasant at
It's
best.
a bawdy and tawdry affair.
Oof.
Yeah.
You can already see.
I was working at the movie theater when this came out. This was 91. It got several delays in release. And I just remember, I think my coworkers, some of them saw it and they just said, don't bother. And I kind of knew by that point who to trust and who not to trust. And I said, okay, yeah. And plus just the idea of Dan Aykroyd and all the prosthetics. I run hot and cold on Dan Aykroyd. There are certain roles where I think he is absolutely perfect, such as his role in Indiana Jones 3. But then things like this, where he's just no limits to him, like a Blues Brothers 2000. Blues Brothers 2000, I think, is way, way worse than this movie.
Thank you. Let's all agree on that, shall we?
Yes, this does play.
I haven't seen it.
I've never seen.
Never.
I love the first movie so much. I don't think I can do it.
Do not go there. Do not.
YouTube the jam at the end of the movie, because if you're a fan of blues, it's fucking incredible. But do not watch that movie. Actually, I'm gonna take. You know what?
There's a kid Blues Brother, dude. It's
no. The whole thing is garbage. I will say, watch the opening scene, which has Taj Mahal singing John the Revelator, and it's just Elwood standing waiting to be picked up by Jake. It's gorgeous, and then everything falls to shit.
You've now qualified the beginning and the end of the film. Father Malone, how much more do you want us to watch? The whole thing?
I want you to watch the beginning and ending of that movie and then skip everything in between. And if you watch anything in between, it's your fault, not mine.
Does that movie have Richard Dreyfuss in it?
No.
You're thinking
John
of
Goodman.
John Goodman. Okay, that's who it is. Great.
Mighty Mac Blues.
I feel like Werner Herzog, during the Bear Man thing. Don't watch the tape. Don't watch it.
It must be destroyed.
You do not want to see this. Yes. I am pretty good with fish out of water stories. This fits right there with 1991's Doc Hollywood and 1992's My Cousin Vinny, throwing a little bit of Motel Hell from 1980, and one of my favorites and yours, I'm sure, Transylvania 65000. But yeah, I was feeling more Rocky Horror Picture Show than Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I think especially the dinner scene, the very first angle of that really reminded me of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, though Frank's on the other side than the judge. But yeah, the judge it's not good, but it's definitely not one of the worst things I've ever seen. And yeah, the reputation was so huge for this movie just being completely wretched from beginning to end that I was almost delighted to see that it wasn't the worst thing. I would actually kind of like to see this in widescreen because I thought the mise en scène and the production design looked really kind of interesting. I love the whole thing with all of the, the other thing it reminded me of is the Cars That Ate Paris. Just this whole idea of these people that like how the judge has everything set up for these law scoffers to be apprehended, and then he steals all their stuff, and it becomes this big like garbage pile out back, it kind of reminded me of that, as far as like these people come through Paris and down in Australia, not France, and are, forced off the road. There's mirrors and all these things to blind them. They crash and then they steal their cars. They take the people. I'm surprised that there isn't more of like a graveyard scene. Maybe that's in the R-rated cut, as far as what happened to all of these bodies. Are they being processed for these awful looking sausages?
That's the implication, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't as terrible. But I do have to say, yeah, the Chevy Chaseness of it all really hurts this film. Just and like, we know he's going to be smarmy, and we know that's going to get him into trouble, and that's absolutely fine. I'm really okay with that type of character, and the way, like, when he swears or lights up a cigar and does all of these really stupid things, you're just like, okay, there's going to be that character to it. But I would almost like that character to be the Taylor Negron, and have the main character be more of like a, I don't know, like a Cary Grant or something, somebody where you can actually empathize with them, as opposed to the guy who's fucking up all the time and making things worse. Like, he should be more of the hero, but Chevy Chase is not a hero in this movie. If anything, I want to see him punished because he's just an asshole.
Was it not Aykroyd gets the deal, and he writes the script, and his original intention is to play Judge Volkenheiser and the lead character, right, and is told, you will not be playing the lead character. We'll go with Chevy Chase, and he's like, okay, that's fine. But if we imagine a movie with Dan Aykroyd, like Ray Stantz in the lead of this movie, sort of not brash asshole Aykroyd, but Aykroyd just in general comes off as, when he's not under piles of makeup, sort of a wounded human. And that would have come across better for the character, because I wouldn't have wanted him to die before they even get in the fucking car to go.
Well, he could be that Ray Stantz person, but he could also be that character he played in Neighbors, where he's a smarmy a-hole guy. And what was his name in that? Vic. He could be Vic. And I'm like, no. But yeah, had he been more of like the put upon person, been played by John Candy, I could see Candy doing that. But no, the Chevy Chase just brings the wrong energy to it. And then when we talk about this, because this is basically a screwball comedy in a lot of ways, at least to me. And, I mentioned Cary Grant, and you imagine those, like, that bickering between the lead male character, the lead female character, and they eventually get to agree, and they eventually fall in love, kind of thing. I don't see any of that stuff between him and Demi Moore. The stuff that was going on behind the scenes, where they just absolutely hated each other. I had the opportunity to interview Taylor Negron years ago via email, and I asked him about Nothing But Trouble, and he just gave me a one-word reply, as far as like, all the rumors are true. Demi and Chevy fought like cats and dogs. I'm like, okay, yeah. So I would have loved to have known more, about the making of that, especially since he just kind of fucks off during the middle of the movie and then appears at the end with John Candy. But, I kind of want to follow those characters. I want to see what those folks are up to much more than I want to know about Demi and Chevy.
Can someone explain the beginning to me?
Oh,
I think I missed something.
Can I get a ride to Atlantic City? Oh, can I borrow your car? I can drive well.
I'm like, what did I miss?
This file you have in your hand, this happenstance moment, you're my neighbor, that happens to tie in with something that's very important to me, and will force the plot of this movie. Like, what?
Okay, so I didn't miss anything. It's just really, really shoved in there.
This movie could have started with them in the car, just driving. It should have, actually, because we don't know anything more about them than we got from the opening scenes of just everyone being awful.
Yeah, he's a financial advisor, right? So maybe he has a connection with the people that I can't even remember who it is, her ex or something.
Yeah, something like
partner?
that.
I don't remember.
Who cares?
It should have been he was the lawyer for this guy or something. There should have been some more connection, rather than it just feels like he's holding a random folder that I guess he's going to write in his newsletter.
Client in Atlantic City, and he's going with her because she's a lawyer.
But she's going with him to Atlantic City to confront.
He's going with her.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, so she wants to go to Atlantic City to confront this guy who's the subject of the folder that Chevy Chase just happens to be carrying.
Right. And none of that matters. And then on top of that, it turns into Freaked. Like, hey, a freak show. Like, let's go off-road, everybody. Like,
I hadn't been given an opportunity to talk about my thoughts on the movie. Stole it, motherfucker, right out of my mouth. It is Freaked. It's 100% Freaked.
Okay. That's a good comparison too.
That's all this is just Freaked.
The same year as this?
Yeah, what are we, like 2 years off? Like it's 2 years off. Like it's 91, 93. And here's the thing. This movie has the same issues that I think most people who watch Freaked would have with Freaked, which is it's kind of meanders. This is Dan Aykroyd's.
But I love those people. I love them.
That's the thing. That's the thing about Freaked. I like their meandering a lot more than I like Dan Aykroyd's meandering. And that's because with Freaked, they are operating outside of the studio system in a lot of ways. They're still inside of it. I mean, the whole thing with 20th Century Fox and it not getting released, I mean, that still happens. But they weren't given $40 million to make fucking Freaked. And if they had been, trust me, I don't think people would have not remembered Freaked. I can only imagine what $40 million in 1993 would have looked like in Alex Winter and Tom Stern's hands. However, this is what $40 million looks like in Dan Aykroyd's hands. It's impressive. It's just, it doesn't look like $40 million. You built a big model, and you don't really have anything interesting to do with it in a lot of ways. I'm glad that Dan Aykroyd is the one who did this because it's more interesting than it would have been with most people. But this is a strange movie. And in a lot of ways, it's like intentionally off-putting, which is fine. So is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I appreciate about it. Like, there are a few movies that can create a visceral sense of disgusting dread, like this movie and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's because these sets are real. This is like really gross, for real. This is like Dan Aykroyd's id externalized in a lot of ways. Like it's a lot.
There's nothing as gross in Texas Chainsaw Massacre as that fucking nasty ass wiener that he shoves in his mouth. I'll tell you that right now. Because everything in Texas Chainsaw is off screen. That hot dog going, or whatever, not a hot dog, some kind of sausage going in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's on white the delivery system is whimsical and wonderful.
A light smattering of whimsy, Father Malone.
You're so right, though, Chris. I mean, Ricky Coogan, the Alex Winter character. If folks haven't seen Freaked that are listening to this right now, shame on you. Go watch it right now. Ricky Coogan is perfect, and Alex Winter is playing him perfect because he is such an asshole, but he gets redeemed through the movie. Like, he's a dynamic character. Chevy Chase is not a dynamic character. He's an asshole at the beginning and he's an asshole at the end, and there's no change to him whatsoever. And really, as far as him ending up with Demi Moore by the end of the movie, it's just because they've been through a traumatic experience together. It's Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves in Speed, just like go through the trauma. They're together by the end of the film. And at least they address it in Speed. They don't in this. They're just like, yeah, we're a couple now. Why? You should not be together. They should have been like shake hands and part ways.
Well, they recognized how horrible they each were separately and thought, well, we can be really terrible together. Okay. And the thing about Freaked is, and what Freaked has all over this movie is a rock solid point of view. That's a comedy with some disturbing shit in it. This is supposed to be a horror movie with some darkly comedic shit going on in it. And somehow it turns into kind of a wacky comedy from the get-go with some horror elements that don't ever pay off. So it ends up being this light horror, like, what most people think of as horror, like, just you dress it up in the cerements and that's okay and that's enough, but it's not. Like, go for it. Like, I want to see the bone splitter working.
Yes.
Yeah, that I was actually surprised that they killed people off. I'm like, oh, okay.
One of the Baldwin brothers, even.
Yeah, the best Baldwin.
What?
Oh, just kidding.
He's one of the few that hasn't murdered anyone.
Yeah.
Or turned MAGA.
Although
and he was great on Homicide: Life on the Street.
True.
That was one of the parts where I felt the meandering the most. Like, oh, we're going to introduce these characters and dispatch of them immediately. They don't even get to interact with Chase or Moore or anybody else in this. It's just, oh, we're doing this to show you the bone stripper, and that's it.
And potentially to say, look, by comparison, maybe our characters are good and you should like them.
Right. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're
not
big
bad
comical bags of.
Yeah.
They're not this terrible, right, folks? Come on. I know it's Chevy Chase, but go with it, please.
They're not carrying huge sacks of crack cocaine and
just the wild.
I mean, it's like a bag with a dollar sign on it. Instead, it's like a bag with like it should just say crack on it.
It's the kind of jug. It's the kind of jugs that in movies have 3 X's on it. Like what's in that jug with the
a little on the nose, like the ending, like the Looney Tunes ending.
Oh God damn!
Oh my, yeah. This is called "We Didn't Know How to End Our Film 101." The funny thing is that there is a seed of an interesting idea in the ending of the movie where it's like, then they're coming to the city now and nothing but trouble too. They're all still alive, other than Tupac and I guess John Candy. But
and the guy from Digital Underground.
Yeah.
But
Humpty.
That's true. But at the same time, like, it's just, they had no idea how to end this movie whatsoever. Because it meanders, there's that nugget of like, we're going to come to the city and visit our son who married John Candy and drag. But everything else is just like, why is there a Looney Tune? Like, wow. If you were going to go full slapstick this whole fucking time, just go full slapstick.
Yeah, don't tack that on at the end. But,
Chevy Chase pull out a comically large boxing glove and like punch, Dan Aykroyd and have noises and all sorts of wild shit. Like, don't hold back. Yeah.
Just going, ain't I a stinker?
There is clearly a lot of like 11th hour tinkering by the studio here. And I would love to know a little bit more about that. Like I can find out a lot about when they went into production, what was going on the set, but like what happened once the studio finally woke up to all of the footage and what was going to have to be done with this.
Can you imagine being in that meeting? So we got the footage from Dan Aykroyd's movie. You guys want to screen it 20 minutes later? What the fuck?
I mentioned Beetlejuice earlier, right? Now, I'm sure that same studio, I'm sure everyone at Warner Brothers was like, what the fuck is this thing? And then they're like, okay,
or this
yeah, no, for Beetlejuice. And then had the same reaction, like, 2 years later with this? Like, well, we didn't know what the fuck we were talking about with Beetlejuice, and fucking Tim Burton just made us $1 billion with Batman, so...
Yeah, but Beetlejuice, because here's the thing, Beetlejuice is a gross movie as well. But Beetlejuice hides how gross it is with like a sense of Tim Burton's je ne sais quoi, right? It's his, Tim Burton's inherent Tim Burtonness covers up the grossness of the movie. And that's kind of been Tim Burton's thing, is like covering.
Well, Tim Burton he's airy. He's not earthy at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than Sleepy Hollow. That's the
right. But even that is like a joke.
Well,
right. But my point is,
Kevin Walker coming through on that one.
Yeah, I also think Dan Aykroyd probably has more to say in a lot of ways than Tim Burton. Dan Aykroyd's interested in other things. I mean, they talk about it all the time, that like, the Ghostbusters script that Dan Aykroyd wrote that was, like the unfilmable film, or, the Ghostbusters.
Or that's every script. Yeah, there's always a draft that is unfilmable with Aykroyd. It's always like 1,200 pages.
Thick as a phone book, as John Landis always likes to say.
Thanks, Dan. And that's the thing, like with Dan Aykroyd, like that, you know what you're going to get. So he's the kind of guy who needs to have his ideas synthesized through somebody else, or at least looked at by somebody else. And this is Dan Aykroyd run rampant. I mean, the fact that Dan Aykroyd was just walking around set being like, you guys got any crazy ideas for shit that we could implement in this movie? Is like, I mean, I appreciate the level
and you got to imagine him.
I like it, but like, dude, like this is probably a bit fucking much. Like, even for me.
He's either dressed as the fucking judge or as one of those fucking twins and directing the movie, going around the set going, anybody got any ideas? Like, yeah, Dan, we need to wrap this up, baby.
Bobo and Little Devil, Mike, the best part of this whole movie.
God.
I actually really enjoyed them. Wow.
Mark Begley, everybody.
That scene where they're playing cards with Demi Moore, it got me. It got me. I was like, and she was playing off of it, and I'm like, this is a kick in the pants.
Everybody's committing to the bit. I mean, that's the thing. Father Malone, I think often about Dragnet and Emil Muzz, and I I think of Dan Aykroyd in that movie, because that movie has one of the great Dan Aykroyd performances, and I think that this is one as well. He really, the term commits to the bit. Like,
he's great in it.
100%. This is a bad movie for certain reasons, but it is not a bad movie because of the performances, other than Chevy Chase, who I think I can speak for at least the three of us in saying, like, this is not the first time that we've said Chevy Chase is the worst part of these movies. And this is a Chevy Chase centric podcast.
Or that he's phoning it in. And I think he phones it in on purpose a lot of times because he knows, admittedly,
goes too far with the aloofness.
Well, and I think he realized, I'm doing this for my friend. It's not a great movie. It's probably not going to end up as a great movie. And so I'm going to phone it in as kind of my self-fulfilling prophecy where I can say, yeah, I knew it was a bad movie. That's why you don't see me putting in much effort. If you put in a little bit of effort and it comes out bad, it's like, well, then it's my fault, right? Mm-hmm. But it's almost like he uses that phoning it in technique. And, Caddyshack 2 is another example. I'm going to go through a whole list of examples of ones we've already seen where it's like, yeah, I did this for Dan because he's my buddy. But, I didn't really try or anything. So if it's bad, it's not my fault. And that's how it always feels to me when I see him very obviously not really putting in much effort. Like the blame can't be put on me for this one.
I think he is the major problem with this movie because he's our lead and we can't get behind him at all. But the other major problem with the movie, even though he shepherded all of the production design and hired all of these fucking fantastic people like Dean Cundey, we haven't mentioned yet. Aykroyd was absolutely incorrect to direct this movie. I think it's really competently directed, but he is at sea. Obviously, like he's got this budget and he's trying to get this fucking movie made and he's getting no help from his lead and they're fighting and all this shit. And he needed to just stand back and be the fucking, be the judge while like some fucking film school grad works out the rest of this shit and gives us a car and works on the story. Like it needed a level of remove. That's the thing about Aykroyd. Whenever you hear the story about him turning in some crazy fucking draft, it then goes into a second set of hands that then weeds out all of the bullshit and gets us into an actual coherent plot line. He didn't have that here.
That's what I was saying. Like Dan Aykroyd needs synthesis. Like, in a lot of ways, and Mike's favorite director, Quentin Tarantino, very similarly. You can't just let this guy run rampant and unchecked. Like he needs somebody to focus what he's doing because otherwise he will get, he'll get out in the weeds. Like Bing, he'll be out in the fucking weeds, like it's out in Sea Caucus. Like you will literally have an ability to stay on topic. And that's what this movie feels like. We have so much meandering in this fucking movie. And again, in Freaked, one of the things about Freaked that I like is the Hollywood Squares bit in the first third of the movie. That's a pretty hardcore meander, like a really hardcore, but yet it totally works because it introduces the characters in a fun way. This movie... I feel like this movie, like, for me, falls apart the moment we get John Candy in drag. Like, really. Because all of a sudden it's just like, and now the movie's just silly. It's just silly. Because it's just John Candy.
I think the movie can be silly, though. Right, but the movie can be silly and meander and go, like, the Digital Underground shows up and does a fucking number here. And I think it works perfectly. Like, the movie could have been more episodic like that.
I'm just saying, I think for me, once we have John Candy playing two characters on screen, actually three characters on screen, I know, I guess no, two. I always think he plays one of those babies, but he doesn't
tell me to that.
No, right. Thank God. I always forget he's not. Yeah, I know.
He doesn't seem all that into it either. And I know that's partly his character, because his character is at his wit's end, apparently.
Right.
And why he escapes with the Brazilian siblings. I know they're supposed to be siblings, but whatever.
Is he banging at the end? Is that what
he's banging her? He's there. I mean, it might be a throuple. I don't know.
That was the impression I got.
Nothing but throuple.
Yeah,
he's their security now, but he didn't seem all that present either in a lot of the scenes. It just kind of like, here's John Candy reading his lines. Like he was literally just reading his lines.
It's almost like the studio, and again, like we talked about, we don't know what the original cut of the movie is, but I almost wonder if the studio was like, we just need more shots of Chase being a smug fuck. Like, and that's all it is. Because so much of the movie is just Chevy Chase being a smug fuck, and none of the smugness works. And what's weird to me is, like, we've talked about this so much, and especially in something like Fletch, the smugness there works. The smugness there is on point, tonally on point. And in this movie, it couldn't be at odds more with what's going on. Like, Chevy Chase doesn't work in this movie almost because what his shtick is doesn't work in this kind of movie. And I don't know why that's the case, because I'm sure that there are movies like this one where there's a character like Chevy Chase that does work. I'm trying to figure out why specifically he doesn't work here. And I think part of it is his level of disinterest, but I also think that I don't know, like, none of his lines are particularly funny either. I mean, none of them are funny. That's the other thing. Like in Fletch and some of these other movies we've talked about, there are lines that are memorable and quotable. What does he have in this one?
Well, you know what, Mike, earlier you mentioned that basically the character starts an asshole, goes through some shit as an asshole, and then continues to be an asshole at the end of the movie. Now, would you guys agree that you've watched enough Chevy Chase movies that he does his characters?
This show's done.
Yeah, his characters never have an arc, right?
Not really. No. I mean, when it comes to like the Clark Griswold, he is so dogmatic. He wants to do these trips, and then he usually has a freak out at the end when things are that bad. But yeah, I can't really think of him having too much of an arc and changing through things, unless it's like getting chemical waste dumped on him. And then he definitely changes. He gets powers, but he's still the same guy at the end that he was at the beginning.
Yeah, that in fact amplified what an asshole he was.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he does. He never really. It's more that people come to him, like he always gets the girl, and he's never changed. It's just like charm or something, I guess.
Which is fine when we're talking about Fletch, who we will automatically be behind because he's, out there exposing some crime or something. But if he's a yuppie fucking dickhead at the beginning of the movie, then he has to be not that by the end of the movie.
Yeah,
he just dramatically speaking, that has to happen.
Right. And his whole thing of being like this advisor, this guy who knows everything about Wall Street and stuff like that never comes into play at all, other than Dan Aykroyd mistaking him for a banker and having this weird thing about banking and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like I was waiting for something where it's like, oh yeah, like he helps somebody set up some sort of trust fund or invest in something or gives them a really good stock. I mean, other than
helps the town.
Yeah, but helps the town. Exactly. This town is in complete disarray. I mean, with these pipes coming out of the middle of the street and everything, I was like, yeah, help the fucking town. I mean, come on, like do some funny farm shit here or something, like help out somebody. But yeah, he's just so about himself that he doesn't do anything. And it's just so vague. I mean, the only person it seems like he helped was Peter Aykroyd doing this bizarro Scottish accent thing that for some reason. And at first I thought he was the doorman, but then it seems like he's a chauffeur for a moment. I don't know what's going on with this.
I think he's supposed to be the doorman, but
okay.
He gets heavy tips from Chase's character, and that's why he's always taking care of his car and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it was a terrible Irish accent, by the way. Not
Irish. I'm sorry. My bad. I must have been thinking of Captain Ramirez. So sorry about that.
I just wanted to say one thing. We talk about the length and bizarreness of Aykroyd's scripts. So when I
the girth, we were all thinking it. Sorry,
we were all thinking it. You said
when I started this, I'm like, oh. It's only an hour and a half long. How can that possibly be? And,
inexplicably,
I'm assuming that large chunks got cut out, and which might also explain, some of the missing dialogue and pieces, or what feels like missing dialogue and scenes and things like that. But I was expecting this to be close to 2 hours, just because. And I know it's a story by his brother. But he did write the screenplay, so you're just always assuming he's going to throw in every little weird idea that he has and, attempt to film it maybe as well. And that's why I'm surprised it's not very long, and which helped. And the pace is rapid, which is good in a way, but also I still feel like there's stuff missing because it's going so fast. But, pleasantly surprised at the length, but still feel like I want to see some of that missing stuff to maybe help explain. Well, maybe it doesn't explain things, but I feel like it might explain the purpose for the trip in the first place.
I want the Nothing But Trouble prequel. That's all about Dan Aykroyd's character.
Falconvania. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys ever been to Centralia, which is obviously what this is based on, Centralia, Pennsylvania? It is a mining town that effectively, a fire started in the mines. It is still burning to this day. So there are rifts in the town if you go where smoke is just billowing out.
Wow.
It's quite hard. Like Silent Hill, the video game is entirely based on Centralia as well.
This is thank you. Also, this is the other movie that this reminded me of. The original Silent Hill with the fire burning underground. And, it's
the same. They're both based on the same source, which is, this county, Pennsylvania.
Dan Aykroyd's always thinking ahead. Dan Aykroyd's always integrating real life stuff. And look, I think for me, with something like Dan Aykroyd and his kind of unbridled creativity, is it the train with the hot dogs where it's like, Dan, it's probably too much?
No, that's the best part of him.
I know.
Where he's like introducing himself and a button gets pressed and his diploma pops up. Like that, like weirdo mechanical Dan Aykroyd is wonderful. Like I want more and more and more of that.
Yeah, the booby trap house was fun. The booby trap junkyard is fun. And I like him in this. I think he, his accent actually works for me. All the weird stuff, the fake nose and the hair, and the leg and all that. Really interesting stuff. But
there's a scene where he takes his nose off.
Yeah.
That's like fucking gross. Oh, what the fuck is with the dick nose?
That changes throughout the whole thing. I was like, it's not always a dick.
No,
that's got to be him saying like, to the audience is going to be saying like, did I just see that? Because it goes back.
I even have that glimpse of Chase like doing that reaction.
Right.
Like,
and then it's at the end of the movie when they show him in the shot at the end of the movie. It's like, well, I'm going to go stay with my grandson. He has the dick nose then too.
Yeah.
But why? Was it? I wonder if that was just going to be what the character looked like the whole movie.
Maybe. Or maybe like he would come in and go, guys, it's a dick nose day.
Yeah, like it always kind of looks like a dick. Like if you look at it in some scenes, it even has the little tip. Like it looks like a dick sometimes. Like even when it's not having attention called to it, that it is in fact a penis.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Schneider would revisit this great idea later in Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo, a person with a dick nose. So,
classic.
Yes, great. The comedy stylings of Rob Schneider. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just a bit of physical comedy. Like, I don't think it has any meaning. But again, with Dan Aykroyd, I assume it has meaning because it's Dan Aykroyd. So, title movie should have been Vulcanvania.
Totally.
Right.
Literally anything, then Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, and the line you messaged us about, Mike, where was that? Because I totally missed. I might have already passed it when you sent that because I was watching it when you sent that message.
Okay, yeah, when they're trying to escape the very first time, is it around the dinner table? Yeah, I think it's right around the time. So at one point, Taylor Negron and his sister jump out the window, and then they start running the other way, Chase and Demi. And at one point, I think it is the judge. I don't think it's the sister, but I think it's the judge grabs her, and you hear the same line said twice, like over each other. Like, what was it? Like, get your hands off her or something. And I'm just like, whoa. Because I was watching it with headphones. Andrew refused to allow me to watch it on the TV. I had to watch it on my laptop. She's like, no. I'm not allowing that film in this house. So I said, wow. She said, I've seen enough of your shitty Chevy Chase movies.
Don't blame her.
Yeah, no, I don't blame her whatsoever. So I said, yes, dear. And I just watched it with the headphones on. And then I was like, whoa, that was really strange. But yeah, the ADR was really throwing me. And especially that they did so much ADR and that they got Chase back to do it, which was surprising too. I thought maybe he would refuse, but I guess he was doing anything for his buddy Dan. I mean, we talked before we started recording, like I think a lot of us watched a bunch of YouTube videos where people were trying to dissect the movie and talk about the movie and stuff. And there were clips from Dan and Chevy on, I think it might have been Arsenio, and Chevy
my God,
talking up Dan Aykroyd like he is God's gift to comedy.
Yeah, they seem to be good buddies. Are you sure it wasn't Rich Little doing the ADR though? I mean,
there could be that. Yeah, he used to like to do that, didn't he? Yeah, that whole Niven performance in one of the Pink Panther films. Yeah.
Yep. So who knows?
Like the idea of John Hughes turning this movie down.
And John Landis as well.
John Landis, of all the people at the time, This feels like it could have been a Landis thing, right?
It could have been. And think about that. Yeah. He definitely needed the gig, and he went, no.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's true. That is true.
Come on, John. I will say also, the alternate poster for the movie is so fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a lot of alternate posters and images for it, and they all are so much better than the floating heads.
Good God. Yeah, the 4 floating heads. And the menacing grin of Dan Aykroyd just scowling. It's just the worst. Like,
and you mentioned the other title, Vulcanvania. Like, at what point and who thought nothing but trouble? That's it. That'll get him in. Was there a focus group involved? Like some moron?
All they wanted was a little getaway, and all they got was nothing but trouble. I mean, it's not great. Your movie has a pre-title, which has to explain the title, which doesn't.
It wasn't a little getaway though.
No,
it wasn't even a little getaway.
No,
it's like a business trip.
God.
And then they go off. You take the wrong turn. Can't do that.
We could go see the Taj Mahal.
Right.
God, okay.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a weird choice. The Brazilian Air siblings. That was another oddball thing. I'm like, okay, but then they're gone.
And I thought for sure they were just dead meat. Bringing along dead meat. But
nobody dies except for the 4 random people. Like they're basically the proxies for our leads. Like, that's Aykroyd, cake and eating too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the messy stuff for me. Like
well, do we know if Bolo and Lil Double are alive at the end?
I hope to God they are.
Please, Jesus, well, don't scare me like that.
Yeah, I mean, gonna live their weird mutant lives because they basically look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum from that awful Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie. That basically seemed what they're modeled after. They almost all look like big Cupid dolls with the little spit curl on the top of their heads.
God,
they are quite horrifying.
It's so weird that I could recognize Dan Aykroyd as that, like just his eyes. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's Dan Aykroyd, and I kept thinking that the other one was going to be somebody, but
right.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like anybody wanted to do that. So he had to do one, and who are you going to get to do the other?
Right.
Could have gotten Bill Murray.
Here's the thing. I kept reading that too. Like nobody would do it. Like if he's the director of the movie, he's already under a ton of fucking makeup. There are so many unemployed people in Los Angeles who are dying. Just don't do this and then complain about it afterwards. Nobody would do it. I just had to do it. Get out of here, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It was part of my contract that I had to play it. Dan, you just wanted to be in a giant baby suit, okay? We got it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just own up to it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Murray's, Brian Doyle gets his little appearance. An hour and 22 minutes in. I clocked it. I'm like, when does he show up?
Oh yeah, I saw Raymond J. Barry's name in the credits. I was like,
same. Hour 22. So there's like not even 10 minutes left in the film and they show up. And I know I've made this lame joke in the past because Brian Doyle Murray has been in so many of these films that we watched, but it feels like that's kind of Chevy's way to say fuck you to Bill Murray. I like your brother. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, did you see how many Aykroyds are in the cast and credits? I mean, so many of those people in the town.
Oh yeah, well
Danielle Aykroyd, P.H. Aykroyd. Yeah.
His dad and daughter are townsfolk sitting on the porches.
This was actually a Michael Kamen score that I didn't mind because most of the time his scores sound exactly the same as other things that he's done, but kind of worked here. And yeah, Dean Cundy doing cinematography. I mean, you can't get a better cinematographer doing your film. And yeah, it looks fantastic. But yeah, to your point, Father Malone, I don't think the direction was as good as it needed to be.
How easy it would have been to make this entire thing look set-bound and fucking terrible. He got very lucky that Dean Cundy is his DP here.
This could have looked like the worst Tales from the Crypt episode imaginable, and it doesn't. This movie is really nice to look at, which is a real big compliment, I think, to this movie's favor. It's one of the reasons I would even suggest watching this movie. Is this movie has a sense of style and place that a lot of movies don't now. A lot of movies then did, but a lot of movies don't now. Like, this is all practical for the most part, like almost completely.
And there was a beautiful There's a beautiful matte painting when they're being pulled into the compound. I'm like, ooh, look at that. You don't see that much anymore, do you?
No, you don't also see anyone hiring a kinetic sculptor to be your production designer. So
yeah, well, kudos to the production design and to Dean Kundi for making it look as good and as lived in as possible. And like you say, not stage or set down. Like this is obviously on a stage, right? The castle, the interiors at least, and you don't get that feeling from it.
And we haven't really talked about her a whole lot, but I think we should mention Demi Moore is not bad in this movie.
No,
she's actually pretty good. I mean, you know, Demi Moore
seems to be putting in the effort.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Demi Moore she's always putting in the effort. Whether or not she actually lands is debatable. I think she's doing well by comparison. I think Chevy Chase is such a fucking sinkhole of charisma here that she rises up a level, but she is not a comedic performer. I've never bought her as a comedic performer.
Yeah. The only One Crazy Summer is middling at best. Yeah,
she's not funny in it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything else comedic, but she's not funny here. I'll tell you that much. She's not meant to be funny here, I guess, but she doesn't.
Funny when she's playing poker with the twins. So I'm going to give her that.
That's fair.
Let's see.
You guys are really vibing with those two fat baby suit creatures, I guess. Mike and fucking Mark here, like.
Oh boy.
I don't know, something about it. The voices and stuff just kind of got me.
Everything. How about the like second pair of like double tits? Like they have like a second of like breasts underneath. It's just
they're like pigs. And the way that their stomachs are so far down above their crotches and stuff. Oh
God.
Little devil.
God.
Well, and Aykroyd is like, he's using that the suit itself for his behavior, because if you have folds like that, of course you're going to jump up and down a lot. You want all of that to wriggle and jiggle on screen.
And then they've got those voices that they use, and I'm like, boy,
ladies and gentlemen, he's nailing the. Mike, you seem to be able to do all the Dan Aykroyd voices from the show, because this is what, third time we've had Dan on the show.
Oh yeah, when I asked him to suck out the poison.
Yeah. God. Hey, Father Malone, you didn't get an opportunity to be on that episode with us, but how about that Caddyshack 2?
I don't want to talk about Caddyshack.
Neither does your pal Alan Urkish.
No, and neither did we. Yeah, no. Who can blame him? Here's what I'll say about that movie. It has the one line what I thought was really funny, which is Randy Quaid saying, he's talking to somebody on the phone. He's like, "Oh, that's hard to say. Oh, well, what about this? Oh, it's hard to say. Is it as hard to say? Help! There's a madman with a flamethrower in my office." Good line.
He's the best part of that movie when he's just going ape shit. Yeah, Randy Quaid turns in some good performances. What if
we see him again in the future?
I don't think so. I was gonna say this movie could have used some Randy Quaid. What if Randy Quaid was Lil Devil?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, but no, he's much better as Eliza C. Scuggs.
Right?
Rather have him in here as this. Styrofoam cup, bad for the environment.
Fiddle faddle. He's such a fucking monster. I love him. Him and the Judge Vulcanizer they would probably be pals. They'd be.
Oh my God! What a duo! Get that mashup going.
Also, I feel like probably more than likely both Trump supporters. Yeah, definitely Vulcanizer.
Vulcanizer, 100%. Although you know what, he might be that sort of that old crazy fucking sensible nutcase,
And JP Vulcanizer's a great guy. Does a lot of unconventional punishments, and we love him though. Hey, give him a hand, everybody. He's like head of the fucking the DOJ. The Vulcanizer, everybody. He has a seat at the table. God.
I have, according to the IMDb trivia, which is always just the source of truth,
infallible.
IFC listed Nothing But Trouble as one of the 10 90s comedies that really need sequels.
Psychotic. You psychotic people.
The hell wrote that? Yeah.
I mean, again, I am always been of the mindset that if you're going to remake something or give something a sequel that wasn't great to begin with, that was like middling, that was an interesting idea, and take it and go further with it. Don't give me another sequel to something that's good. Come on. There's plenty of that. And honestly, it's harder. You're kind of in an easier spot here. The first movie wasn't great, so you have more room to play with. Don't remake a good movie, then everybody's just gonna be like, well, it wasn't as good as the original. Like, if you make a sequel to this, how could it be worse? How? Really? How? Like, it would seem Probably hard to do, but
if you remade it, who would you put in these roles, Chris? I'm curious now since you have that up.
Glenn Powell
As the judge? Or as Chevy?
As Chevy Chase. I don't know. I mean, and in this day and age, like I feel like, to y'all's point, the best way to do this movie would to actually have someone who is playing the straight man in the Chevy Chase role, but like a charismatic front man, not someone who's being like an asshole. So you take that character and maybe bisect it and turn it into two characters. So you have 3 people or 4 people. So what you would probably do at this point is you would get rid of the Brazilian couple and add a secondary lead for the character that's Chevy Chase's comedic role. So you have Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, and then 2 other characters. So it's 4 characters, and that other 2 characters are a couple. And that's how I would do it at this point. And then just, I don't know, like there's a lot of people in this day and age that would be good in some of these roles, like in these like charismatic roles. But I honestly, I would be more interested in like these. There haven't been one of these like wrong turn movies is kind of what it feels like one that kind of comes out that has some like bigger name actors in it. And so, I mean, I would love to just see one of those movies again, because it feels like there haven't been one of those in a while, more so than just like a sequel to this. Because again, this is a specific kind of movie. This is a specific formula of movie. So any movie that anybody makes that's an off, people going off the road movie, you could say, well, it's kind of like this, because we've said that this movie is kind of like 10 other movies, really.
I want to direct remake of this, but put it in the hands of the people who are who made up the state, like Thomas Lennon and Robert Ben Garant and all of those folks. I think that would be a fucking great movie.
There's some satirical stuff in this movie that doesn't really get mentioned, like the fact that he lets ostensibly an African-American performing group off with no punishment. Yeah. And he's harassing all the white people. Like there's very little mention made of that in the movie, but it's like quite ironic given the state of things in the 90s, especially in this country with the policing the way it was. I mean, again, I don't know how.
As soon as you see a big limousine filled with black people pulled over, you're like, oh, here we go.
Right. Okay. And it doesn't go there. Like intentionally, it doesn't go there. So yeah, the movie has some of that to it. I mean, and again, the fact that it's like, we've already mentioned the yuppies go off the highway and they die. There's some of the satire to that too. I think that a lot of it's probably on the cutting room floor too. So I'd like to see a more pointed version of this movie, because I think there's another version of this movie that you could, I don't know, totally make in this day and age. I mean, again, you could even go as far as to say something like Red State is kind of an off the road movie, 3 kids go off the road to a place where they shouldn't. That's like, I would say it's a pretty close approximation of this. I mean, Red State's not funny, but it kind of is. Like, I mean, again, as funny as essentially recreating Waco on screen can,
Yeah. No, and like I said, I always like that trope, I guess you could call it, of people being in the wrong place and always and thinking that they're better than the people that live there, and that's what causes them problems. And Texas Chainsaw isn't really that, because they're not necessarily, they didn't take a wrong turn. I mean, they went to their family's house. That's where they were supposed to go. Right. But I guess wandering off to find help is what leads them into trouble. And Tourist Trap is one of those, they got lured in there kind of situations. And even something like The Hills Have Eyes, I would sort of group with that subgenre of, these city folk out in their RV now are dealing with inbred cannibals, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I love that.
Remember 2001 Maniacs? Same principle.
Yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Yep.
Well, was Wolf Creek one of those movies as well?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be out there, kids.
Well, and that's the thing. And also,
a lot more disturbing, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing about
this movies for me, 6 wrong turns.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wrong turns.
Holy shit!
Actually, they're pretty fun. I sort of have a soft spot for them.
And the thing I think for a lot of people is this is the kind of horror that most of us could logically run into in our lives, like very easily. Like Father Malone, Father Malone used to have green hair. I used to have, special colored hair that would get, Father Malone, you talked about it on one of the episodes we did together about, one of those townspeople looking at you funny and telling, get the fuck.
I was in Pennsylvania in a mining town, a town that in fact had an alarm that would go off like twice a day and let you know to go to work and to stop work. And it was such like a Silent Hill sort of a situation. And in that town, I walked into a diner and everybody, so it was like, if it was a movie, there would have been a needle scratch. And the woman behind the register just like looked at me and she said, "You probably want to go." I went, "Okay."
Wow.
I mean, that is the kind of terror that any one of us could run into in this country for real. And, I don't know, that's why it taps into something for so many people. And I think that's why there's such I don't know, in this day and age, I feel like people don't worry about that as much as they used to. And it's like, I think you still should. Because, man, if you've ever had your car break down in the middle of nowhere, it's a very sobering experience, even now in 2025. Because if you don't have signal on your phone, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Or just driving. I remember as a teen or in my 20s going through smaller cities around here that I was not familiar with, and just the little differences were off-putting. Like sometimes streets have, the street lights are horizontal instead of vertical. Some towns only have Circle K instead of 7-Eleven, but you're driving through and you're like, nothing seems familiar. This all seems kind of strange, and I really want to get the hell out of here. How do I get back to the freeway? Just that, like, not threatening feeling, but just, I guess it's sort of uncanny valley-ish is off-putting, and why I kind of like.
I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on the road, driving across these great United States, and there are way too many of these towns that you can kind of get lost in. But even scarier to me is you would see a house almost parallel to a major highway, just like 30, 40 feet back, and you could break down just as easily there. And civilization is roaring past you, and who knows what's going on behind those doors, So you can take a wrong turn pretty much like just adjacent to civilization and have it all go to shit.
I'd like to point out one of my favorite breakdown in the middle of nowhere movies, and it's and this is again, fault of your own, no fault of your own, because I like the stories where it's no fault of your own, but the ones where they like get somewhat involved are even better. Jeepers Creepers. That's what
you were going to say that.
You're in civilization and it doesn't even matter. Like that's the ultimate scare, right? Because then it's like they're in the police station, they're there with the cops, and the cops can't even stop it. Like, that's the thing about Texas Chainsaw, that it's always about the isolation. I like the ones where they start verging back in, and it's like even civilization can't stand up to the horrors of, I guess. And again, Father Malone goes back maybe to Apocalypse Now, even like these people have gone native, especially if they're eating human being. Like,
remember in Texas Chainsaw, Sarah Hardesty Enright gets away and goes crazy. Gets fucking taken back.
That's right. But also is the implication at the beginning or at the end of the first movie that she also like goes crazy?
Oh, well, she definitely goes crazy at the end. Yeah, but
she's lost it in the back of the truck. The later, I think it's.
But point being, like, they're as isolated as it can get, and she thinks she finds some help, and there is no help anymore.
Right.
Oh, that's the same. That's the same in Tourist Trap, though, because when that girl gets out, she's lost it as well. She's driving away in the Jeep. And she's got her mannequin friends with her, and she's maniacally laughing too.
Kevin Smith must really like movies where people go off the beaten path, because Tusk is also kind of off. Yeah, very much the same thing, like off the beaten path movie.
And it's that hubris, that gets the lead in trouble.
Like The Vanishing. Remember that flick?
Oh yeah.
What if you cast Justin Long in a remake of Nothing But Trouble? There you go. He could be kind of smarmy.
Oh yeah, he can do that.
Yeah. His character in Tusk is kind of smarmy, but also like you kind of don't hate him.
Barbarian. I mean, he's completely smarmy and barbarian. He's that prototypical Chevy Chase in that, really. that.
Barbarian is kind of nothing but trouble adjacent in a way.
Well, it's almost the reverse because you start off not really. I don't really hate him at the start, but I hate him by the end. It's like he obfuscates a lot, so you're on his side, like, oh, this poor guy, and whatever. Oh no, wait. Oh no, wait.
Well, a Barbarian traffics in the idea of it's again that's taking the equation of going out of out of civilization and the wrong turn, but that is exactly where you were meant to be,
right? And that's more on purpose. Yeah. And she's in the house that she's supposed to.
But even then, she's in civilization, and it doesn't save her. Like she's in civilization. She literally climbs a water tower at one point in that movie. Like they're not.
Mike's not here. Mike's not here. So is Detroit really civilization?
Fair. God, that movie does take place in Detroit, doesn't it? Jeez.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Don't Breathe takes place in Detroit as well.
Yeah, and it follows. Yeah.
And they all take advantage of that bleak. Those neighborhoods that are just abandoned.
Lack of.
I know, Mike.
In civilization.
I know Tarantino isn't the everyone's biggest filmmaker here or anything, but if you read his script for True Romance, his description of Detroit is one of my favorites of all time. Where he says, "Imagine if Beverly Hills one day everyone just said fuck it and left."
I mean, that's pretty much what they did, though, right? In Detroit, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, Father Malone, I'm curious. Since I don't know if you'll be rejoining us at any point in the future.
Probably not. I cannot stand Chevy Chase.
Yeah. So that would be my question to you to kind of bring this episode kind of full circle to a close. What are your thoughts on Chevy Chase, and are there any of his movies that don't fill you with a sense of anger that apparently is, I don't know, probably in his case, well placed given how much of a ornery fellow he tends to be?
I like Groove Tube. I liked Foul Play quite a bit.
He's in 30 seconds of Groove Tube, man.
I know, but he's getting the shit kicked out of him. It's awesome. Yeah, I like Foul Play. I like Seems Like Old Time, which is a tolerable Neil Simon thing. So that's a double whammy that I like it on two fronts. National Lampoon's Vacation is great. I liked Funny Farm when I saw it, and that's about it, right? I mean, you guys are there ones I'm missing that are obvious? And
I mean, Fletch.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Fletch as well.
I know how you feel about Fletch.
Fletch Lives is garbage. Yeah,
I know how you feel about Fletch. Hey, it's got Hal Holbrook.
I don't care.
I know.
He's the bad guy
every time. Yeah, he is.
Of course.
You don't remember that?
I think Mark was more making a point.
No, I haven't seen Fletch Lives.
Good for you.
Wait, we watched.
Oh, you're gonna have to watch it,
Mark.
We just watched it.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Whoa.
That happened with another one that I forgot I watched.
Holy shit.
That we did an episode on.
Man, I'm envious
for this, Mike.
I'm envious of that ability to block.
Yeah. It was Barry Toxic Waste in that one, not a.
Oh yeah. No, I did hurt my head a little bit in my falls, so I do have some memory loss.
Excuses. He undergoes a traumatic bodily harm and expects us to.
Griswold went through it just fine, Mark. How dare
I know. Yeah, that horrified me, man.
He survived that in sledding through the whole city.
Yeah.
I see these clips on Instagram of people falling off of ladders and shit, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, get that off of my feed, man.
Triggered.
Good Lord.
Anywho.
Yeah, Father Malone's not a Chevy Chase guy, so.
But Dan Aykroyd fella. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for Chase,
Yeah. I mean, I've said this repeatedly throughout our show that that whole original cast of Saturday Night Live was a big draw for me as a kid. Even when I wasn't able to really watch the show, I was into all of that stuff. Coneheads, got into Steve Martin because of that. Blues Brothers, obviously. And so those actors were big. And it was, I mentioned at some point, after I think Spies Like Us, or maybe it was Three Amigos, because I saw those in the theater because of Chevy Chase and or Dan Aykroyd in certain cases, and was like, no, I'm done. I don't think I actually like him. I was, because I didn't see a lot of Saturday Night Live, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to. I just liked all those guys because they were doing weird stuff. And boy, once you get into the movies, though, it's like, man, I think I'm done. I did go back for Invisible Man though in the theater, so I don't think I've seen it since then, but we'll see what happens when we get to that one.
I was just looking to see if Chase and Aykroyd were in anything else together post this.
Recently, they were in some zombie thing.
Oh, okay. A zombie thing. That could be so many things.
It's like Return to Zombie Town or something like that.
Zombie Town. Yep. There you go.
Really?
Wow. I've never heard of that.
It looks like it has the fakest fake Drew Struzan poster I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I have it marked as a to watch. Oh, it must be because of Chevy Chase.
It's probably because of R.L. Stein, because he's in as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What? When you were saying that zombie movie, I was like, oh, were they in that Jim Jarmusch zombie movie? Because Bill Murray was.
No. Are you thinking of...
That'd be something if they were, though.
Are you mixing up the vampire movie that... Oh, no, you're right. Jarmusch did do a zombie movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dead Don't Die, yeah.
Holy fuck, I forgot all
weird.
about that. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Guys, I'm so envious of your ability to block out terrible fucking movies.
Oh,
Hey,
God, yeah, that was awful. Oh,
Chevy
man.
Chase was also in the very excellent Mr. Dundee, which is a film about Paul Hogan.
Crocodile Dundee? Oh.
Yes, it is in fact Crocodile Dundee.
Okay.
Paul Hogan playing a character aptly titled Paul. Chevy Chase playing a character named, get this, guys, hold on, Chevy.
Whoa. I think I tried to watch that movie, and it was wretched.
Well, it is Paul Hogan.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's brother.
Hulk Hogan. Sure.
In this environment, I could imagine people believing that.
In this day and age, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't watch a Vacation. We watch Memoirs of an Invisible Man after the next movie, the Vacation remake, or I guess not remake, sequel.
Oh, we get to watch the Vacation remake. Okay,
it's they have a debate.
No,
is it a sequel or a
reboot.
remake?
it's a sequel. It's a sequel because he's playing. Helms is playing Rusty, and Chevy Chase. They're all playing their characters, and it is a sequel.
Chris Hemsworth is in it.
I'm looking forward to it because, as I have said, I like those guys' movies. The Freaks and Geeks dude and his partner
John Francis Daly, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say it every time his name comes up. Game Night is the best fucking comedy in the last 35 years. So.
Yes. Absolutely.
How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay? Is in my lexicon forever.
Edmonds. Oh my God.
That is in my lexicon. I'll probably say that when I die. Well, I'll look over at my daughter and say, how can that be profitable for Frito-Lay? And then she'll laugh because she gets it. And off I go.
On my deathbed, I'm gonna say, put out that dog rocket.
I'm gonna say Rosebud and really fuck with some people. So then they have to go, Rosebud. What the fuck was he talking about?
Why?
Oh, now we got to go look into this.
The journalist in the corner is writing it down.
No, Mike, you should say styrofoam cup. Why the fuck would he say styrofoam cup?
He always did hate the environment.
He did.
You'll get a visit from Patch Adams as you're passing by.
Oh my God.
Crossover to that episode.
To shoot the balloon animals out of the air.
I saw this guy yesterday who was working security at this event I was at, and he had a shirt that said ESS, and at first I thought it said EES, and I was like, oh, everything except shoes. I was like, no.
Oh, wow. Man, what a deep reference that would be.
I started off strong, and then I just kind of dipped down and
like the movie.
Kind of like this movie. Yeah. Next thing you know, I'll be a cartoon shape busting through the wall.
We all will very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
If we're lucky, Eddie.
Nobody mentioned the best line in the film. Smells like Sao Paulo. That gets repeated.
Yeah.
I like Taylor Negron's Brazilian accent is just Hank Azaria's gay Puerto Rican accent from The Simpsons. It's okay, baby. All right, Taylor Negron, fine.
Taylor Negron is so good. Oh,
his joke on the Aristocrats is such a gross joke that I don't want to ever hear him tell it again.
He's just he was always so good. We lost such a talent when we lost him. Yeah, and he would just show up at these random times. I mean the Savage Steve appearances. You mentioned One Crazy Summer before when him and Rich Hall there, and they've got Taylor and Rich on their uniforms and stuff. I mean, he was always so great when he showed up. And then I started off this conversation. I think it was a reference to Fast Times at Ridgemont High with the Dick Nose thing, right? Yeah. And him showing up as the fucking pizza guy in that.
Yeah.
I mean,
pizza guy.
He just stole the show. And then, I mean, his coup de grace for me is the appearance in Last Boy Scout. I mean, Oh, so good.
And in a movie about stand-up comedians, he is the only funny stand-up comedian in Punchline.
Gosh, I haven't seen that in I don't know how long.
I saw it at the theater and I didn't want to see it again.
Same.
I think I rented it. Anywho.
Hopefully most of the pain is behind us. I mean, we are almost in the home stretch here.
We are.
Yeah, what do we got left, guys? I'm curious, and I'm sure our listeners are as well.
So we've got Vacation coming up, the sequel, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Cops and Robertsons, Man of the House, Vegas Vacation, and then appropriately, we're ending with The Last Laugh, which is, as far as I know, a remake of the classic silent film. Was that
is it?
Was that Emil Jannings?
It's going to be awful.
Sounds like a fucking, like, just, like you're going to have to run the gauntlet.
Yeah, Murderer's Row.
Yay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was F.W. Murnau that did that with the... Yeah.
Well, The Last Laugh is two of America's favorite actors, Chevy Chase and Richard Dreyfuss. Like they're very personable people, I've heard. Everybody loves them. They love everybody.
Isn't Robert Downey Jr. in one of these that we're watching? Why am I thinking of?
Oh, The Last Laugh is a road trip movie. You're thinking of that Zach Galifianakis, Robert Downey Jr. movie.
Oh,
Road Trip?
My God.
Whatever the one is where it's like Zach Galifianakis has a dog and Robert Downey Jr. and him are on a road trip together.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
They go visit his grandfather, who's a judge.
I jumped inside of your brain there for a second because I was like,
I was looking forward to telling my story of being briefly related by marriage to Robert Downey Jr. So, darn it.
Wow.
You just did.
Okay.
You didn't tell the story. You told that there is a story.
You told that there is a story.
Kind of the bullet points.
He was married to my step cousin.
Wow. This is getting pretty
I think his first wife. Yeah, they're no blood relation, but they have a kid together, and she's in The Doors. That's about all I can say. So.
That's wild. RDJ
movie, The Doors.
Yeah, I didn't figure the actual band.
Oh my!
John Dinsmore is my step cousin.
Right.
I used to hang out with his daughter Kelly Dinsmore.
Small world.
I smoked John Densmore's weed, so I'm smoking Doors weed. Smoked.
I'm smoking Doors weed. I like that. I like that better. God. So, Father Malone, when you're not joining us to talk about Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd films, where can people find you and your related body of work?
Go over to Midnight Viewing. That is the show that is killing me slowly. It's on twice a week. Monday, it's Father Malone's Weekly Roundup. I take a look at what's new in streaming or out in the theaters. And then Friday, it alternates between the show that you and I do, you gentlemen, Mike and Chris, where we're reviewing Tales from the Dark Side. And we're also, HP and I are doing a Fusco Fest. We're looking at the works of John Fusco currently. We just did Loch Ness. Check us out over there. Midnight Viewing. There's lots of episodes. We're big in the UK, apparently. Hey, everybody in the UK.
Oh, nice.
What about you, Mark Begley?
You can catch my two shows, Cambridge and with Sean and Wake Up Heavy, over on weirdingwaymedia.com or wherever you listen to you wonderful podcasts.
Mike White?
Mike.
Unlike Father Malone, I'm very big in Japan, except when it comes to sumos. They tend to dwarf me. Though sometimes I'm taller than they are, but not wide. But I'm definitely wider than most Japanese people. And I also podcast occasionally over at weirdingwaymedia.com.
Occasionally.
Every once in a while. As for me, same spiel. Weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can find all the shows that I work on, which are a fair amount. Culturecast primarily, and this one monthly. So and like, rate, and review this show, please, on iTunes. Anywhere else is not going to be as helpful as on iTunes, and I don't think you can really rate and review anything else anywhere anyways. So, join us on the next episode when we talk about the remake, reboot, sequel, fucking quill, whatever the hell it is for Vacation. And Father Malone, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us to talk about Nothing But Trouble.
Thanks for having me. Do not have me back for any other Chevy Chase movies.
I won't. We won't.
Lose this number.
Bye-bye.